Welcome to the Youth Leader's Brain. We're here on the topic of youth group games for large groups. So large not being in size maybe, but in numbers. Really some games that, I don't know, in my mind when I was working on this list, I went more than 15 or 20 people. What were you guys thinking?
Yeah, right on that.
Yeah. Your experience, my experience with large group games is maybe a little bit more camp related. My youth group, I got maybe to 35 for a few months. But mostly I lived in that 20 to 35 range. What's your large group?
Yeah, I was in the 60s and 70s.
Okay,
so
yeah,
you know, particularly when we went to camp and did things like that, those activities.
So big group.
And we've been at 15 probably last year, and we've grown to 25, 30 in the past year and a half. So yeah. I'm getting into large group games.
So if you look at one of our other videos, we do games for small group, and it's just it's one of the things you've got to kind of really pay attention to. When suddenly that youth group grows from 12 to 24, the things that worked for you back then are a little bit more clunky now, and you've really got to kind of change some of what you're doing. So this list once again is our top 10, some of our favorites. My name is Sam Brock. I'm the director here at Ironwood.
I'm Craig Lawson. I'm a summer camps director, and then I lead the youth group at my church.
Okay, and
Scott Olson, working at IBCS with mentoring and recruiting.
Okay, so this crew has a good 70 years of experience or so. What are you at now?
Probably working with 8 years.
Yeah. So 31,
in that
like
range.
Yeah. So nearly 70 years of experience, and I'm looking forward to the games. Scott is a little bitter right now because in the last video he actually guessed the number.
I said a number,
and it was wrong.
No, any number is a number, Sam.
A wrong number.
But wasn't it a larger number you said?
Yeah, I guess like
number?
3.
Because 2 is not a bigger number.
So how many do you think we're going to get duplicates on this one?
Ooh, I'm going to stick with 2.
You're going to stick with 2?
Yeah, I'm going to go 2.
Man, I have no idea what's on everybody's list on this one. I'm going to go with 3. What are you going with?
1.
Not any number, one number.
One number. He's got 1.
Just the number of 1.
Okay, so here we go. I'll start us off with number 10. Number 10 on my list. This is an old favorite, been around a long time. Steal the Bacon. No.
Did you play it with bacon?
Well, rarely. But here's the key. Steal the Bacon has a lot of different, it could be almost a whole category of game here. But I really enjoy the whole Steal the Bacon and just keep on changing the rules just a little bit. So whatever the rules are of Steal the Bacon that you know, just think, how could I tweak that? How could I change that? What could I add? And this is, Steal the Bacon is kind of like kickball. There have got to be 1,000 variations to this. And one of my favorites that I played was with a youth group in Ohio. They had bought a $5 octopus, a 5-pound octopus, and they played Steal the Bacon. They started off with a full octopus, and as it kept on going, we had more pieces of that octopus, and it was just the funniest thing to do that. But Steal the Bacon, where it's played right, where you've got to get away and not get tagged in multiple teams, and kind of the way you set it up, it just so many variations. I loved it. Scott, what do you got?
I have for my number 10. I have The Amazing Race. I'm going back to kind of the bigger games that we did with our group, and so we got a bunch of cars together and we made a plan and we traveled about 60 miles, and they had a number of things that they had to accomplish, number of things they had to find. I gave them a couple dollars, and then they finished out with a timestamp, and we saw who was there first, and then there was different penalties that would happen along the way. So it's one of those things that we went back just the other day with some of our sponsors, and they were like, Amazing Race was one of the best things we ever pulled off.
This will be interesting because I had questions like, am I talking activities here, or am I talking games? Yeah. That sort of thing. And that was interesting because it's like a game wrapped up in the whole activity. It's all all sitting there. So
The way we adjusted Amazing Race is we actually had events that they had to do in the car. So you would picture the car as dead time. So they actually had objectives when they were going from one place to another. You have to solve this riddle, or you have to see throughout the whole night, there's a number of license plates of different states that you should find, or you have to pop these 5 balloons before you can get out of the car, and you can only pop them by putting air in them. You can't like rip them or anything like that. And I don't know about you, but if you've heard a balloon pop in a car with all the windows closed, quickly the windows will be open. And so just some fun things like that. So we kind of tripled the amount of activities done in an Amazing Race just by making them do things in the car as they travel.
that's a good idea.
Great idea.
That's a good idea. Okay, what do you got? Number 10?
My number 10 is Noodle Games. Not really, I can't really call
big
it
category again.
a category, but really, it's just an encouragement. You should have pool noodles, and you can play any game with noodle, and it's like a noodle is something that anybody will get excited about.
You can play
Almost
Steal
everybody.
the Bacon with
You
noodles.
can play Steal
Yes.
the Bacon. You can do a whole Amazing Race theme with noodles.
But not noodles in the car.
Yeah. Oh, please no. Noodle games, that can be anywhere from whack-a-knee to jousting to blindfolded, trying to keep people from hitting you. But it just turns into a prop that with a large group, if you have 10 noodles, you have 10 different possibilities of games or somewhere around there. So I had so many noodle game options, and it just became, you should just play with noodles as with large groups. So Noodle Games.
Good one. Okay. My number 9, I'm doubting this is on anybody else's list. We played this for a good 6 months or so, and it was just a fun game. It's called But Wait, There's More. Are you familiar with this one? Okay. Oh man. We'll
I think
see.
2's going to be wrong. I'm probably in trouble.
But wait, there's more. It goes like this. You have somebody who has to fill a role. So let's say they're a billionaire. Then there's several cards that you can pick. But let's just say it's a billionaire. And then you get these different other cards that you have. And you're basically a salesman. So this is kind of an improv type game that gives you the structure that says, okay, this is what you need to, this is the product you're trying to sell. And so you're usually combining 2 or 3 cards, and then every now and then, but wait, there's more. And you can set this up any way you want, but you can get it down to the 2 finalists and say, but wait, there's more. And you flip over another card that they now have to integrate into their product. So it's like a salesman trying to sell it to the billionaire, and the billionaire is the judge. That makes it like an easy way to judge the game. But I like But Wait, There's More. I like it for the fun that I don't know. So like when I go into the game, But Wait, There's More is one of those games where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be funny. Like I don't know what's going to be fun or enjoyable. But at the end of the night, we're talking about it. And usually some of the products we talk about for months after that. So that's mine.
That's a good one. One of the things I like to do with larger groups is to go creative, something that you build or do. And this was something we did here with father-sons and different things like that. Watermelon jousting. Watermelon jousting. Take some props. There's a little bit of work that goes into this. It can be pumpkin jousting too. You can swap that out. But having a little man that you put on the watermelon, and then you give them duct tape and sticks and all of that, and then with on pulleys, your fathers and sons or people are coming together and they're trying to joust the other one and take the man off, and it's
I want to
just
draw
a
this
great
one
time.
just because I haven't been able to draw it
You
yet.
should
but-
draw this one.
So basically, what's happening is you have a pulley that runs between, right?
Right.
And then you have this on the little pulley that's sitting there. That watermelon you have to make a hook, right? So that the watermelon sits there on a hook.
Duct tape.
Duct tape.
Hooks on.
Yep. And so then your other watermelon's sitting here, and so then off of this you have a rope that now your 2 people get to work with that rope, right?
Yes,
Is that the way you guys did it?
that's exactly how we
Yeah.
did it. be careful that the people don't joust. You just want the watermelon joust.
So then on this pulley, they're running this watermelon at that one. They're running this watermelon at that one, and they can pull it back and forth just a little bit. But it is this area right here that is the most fun to watch.
Yeah, and then you have rounds, and they're kind of a little broken, but the man's still on. And the U-Build feature of it, that creative side of fun really, really ramps up here.
Yeah. This one it's just a blast, and it's it's kind of a, you kind of set up the bracket and all that sort of stuff to make that.
It's an afternoon.
Yeah. It's a long game.
It's a long
right
game.
there. So cool.
So, but wait, there's more.
Oh, snake oil.
I added snake oil to it because just the salesman aspect of a game.
I forgot about snake oil.
Snake oil.
Snake
So
oil
good.
is just as good.
So snake oil is you're trying to sell something that should never be sold, or you're coming up with just different ways to do it. But wait, there's more. Is what we did, and we actually did we did it as youth activity, as well as youth game. So that we would do video, and then at another time we would act like you're Billy Mays or the ShamWow guy or something like that. So you'd get somebody really into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what we got here.
Billy Mays here, and it's just one of those they
Ginsu knives.
Yeah. They have a totally different personality to try and sell something, and they're given a bag that says you have to sell what's in this bag. You can make it something else, but it's the bag and the contents in it. And so, but wait, there's more, and snake oil, and just any type of getting them out of their comfort zone to think about why would anybody want
and participating,
Yep.
Jumping in there. On snake oil, when I went through a lot of these, you're going to have to go through your entire deck and just take out the deck. I missed that one or two times in my group, and it always shows up at the worst. No, that's not supposed to be in there. So for me, if I'm not going to play it, I don't even leave the card underneath everything. I just throw it away. I'm like. Yep. I'm not going to play with it. Yeah. It's not going to work. I just toss it, and that way it never makes its way back into the game. And you just have to imagine somebody, double innuendo, that, and maybe a few crass things that I'm like, no, I'm not going to put that.
Filtered game.
Yeah, a filtered game. It's a good thing.
This game had the ability to crawl up my list if I thought about memories.
Yes.
But it's also had the ability to crawl off my list if I think about other memories. And so it probably could be top 3 if I only remember the good things that have happened with this game.
Like improv, you have to work with the group you have. And so if you have, I would say, a rough crowd, like if there's several that are not wanting to do right, that could actually turn around and not be good.
Right.
Yeah, big time.
It wasn't good at all.
That's why it's 9.
Okay, my number 8 is Blindman's Volleyball. And Blindman's Volleyball, just a simple volleyball net, big old plastic piece of black plastic, Visqueen, something like that, you put over the top. Usually used a beach ball as my volleyball. When they got better at it, we would use a regular volleyball as another round. It was a fun way to play volleyball that was just blind. It was a pretty simple setup too, because we had the volleyball kind of set up outside, and so it was just black plastic over the top, different type of volleyball, more like one of those big, round balls that you get at Walmart. But that was a fun one for us, and easy to add a lot of people to.
Switch that a little bit, and you have Battleship.
Yeah, you could. Yep.
Or a food fight.
That black Visqueen can work for a lot of stuff.
And it can go up and down the list by the number too.
Yeah, that's true. So.
All right, number 8 for me is 2 Rooms and a Boom.
Oh.
It's probably going to see this one again.
Maybe.
So it's a great game that you can buy. It might be a little bit hard to find right now, but it just allows you to work with a couple different rooms, a couple different groups, and the goal is to get the president. Well, one group, the bombing group, is trying to get the president and the bomb together, and the blue group is trying to protect the president. And then you have a gray group that has their own agendas. And so it really allows you to do a number of things, and it almost feels like, relational activity after a while. It really it really goes that way. It's kind of a fun like a mafia style, but in a different way.
It's a game that you have to just jump in. You can't understand everything. You have to just jump into the base game and try it out, and then you'll start to add those gray cards, and even more like the red cards have red and blue cards. They have different team mechanics
Kind of
depending on
role.
a role. But it might come across as overly daunting if you just like, I'm going to try and do this. You just gotta, I'm going to play it at the simplest level, and then you can continue to add things to it. My youth group will end up having favorite cards. Can we please play with Romeo and Juliet?
Oh,
That's my favorite.
Absolutely.
So they'll ask for cards.
In this game, you can't play with less than 12. I mean, 12 is like bare minimum. I would say more like 16 is a nice number, and it can go up into that 28.
I
30
love
range.
20, 24.
And you really do need 2 rooms.
It's true.
And there is a boom that happens at the end.
It may not be politically correct.
That's right. I might say some more about this later. So. I almost skipped over you. Well, you have this. You had 2 right here.
No, not at all. I had like 17 right there.
Yeah, he's already got his top 10 with 2 tiles.
Bingo with prizes.
Yeah.
Bingo to me is one of the things I aspire to be a regular at when I'm older. We play it with college students. We play it with youth group. We play it with all sorts. And then the prizes, they don't have to be anything big. I've seen more college students fight over Capri Suns and fruit roll-ups and fruit by the foots than over quarters because they want the nostalgia. And so, I mean, I think normally I spend about $20, $25 in prizes for people to just go nuts. And you can play bingo, depending on how you mix it up. You can play bingo for 2 hours easy. If you're having a good time. And so
Okay, so
I love bingo.
I should have made my list. I just totally forgot about it.
Keep
No.
going.
But,
Well, you've already got 3. Yeah.
but the bingo, we did one where with our group, they all had to solemnly swear that they would either eat or wear whatever they got. And so dollar store, I mean, finding the few items that are like, I would never drink that, eat that, like try that. Or the tiara, the plastic tiara. It was a really fun, the prizes I think are key here.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you do bingo, there's a ton of ways to do bingo.
I have staff kids that come back and like, bingo at your house?
Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite memories. And so bingo's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
We have the whole wheel and everything.
Yeah,
it's
the
not
whole-
just reaching a bag. So
That's a good one. Good one. Okay. Here we go. Number 7. Another one that's like old school, big time, but the simple game of sardines. And I like sardines in a. Oops, I'm sorry. I like sardines kind of in a, even in a tight spot, even in a place where there's not too many places to hide. So basically in sardines, everybody's in the room, one person goes out to hide, and then when somebody finds that person, they hide with them, the next person hides with them. The first person to find them, they're the first person who gets to hide. But eventually, the goal is like 20 of your people all together sitting in that spot. So another variation that we had fun with this was everybody had to wear a glow stick. So had to wear a glow stick necklace. So wherever they were hiding, by the time the group gets bigger, you're seeing all those glow stick necklaces. That was a really fun addition. So again, sardines is one of those kind of simple hide and seek kind of games, but because everybody's piling in, and we would wait until like the last 3 hadn't found us and then go out, or I would call it, because they couldn't seem to find them. But I like this as a large group game. This is not, I didn't put this in small group. I like this with that 20, 30, 35 people. So
Pretty fun in a junkyard.
yeah, we do have a big old junkyard. Yeah, your location is really kind of key on that. But I like it to be harder to hide than easier to hide. Like don't be afraid of just a backyard, front yard. Like that's enough to play sardines. So, what you got?
Number 7 for me is Stop the Watch. Klutz came out of these different books the Klutz series there, and they just had a little stopwatch and a number of things you could do. Later, Minute to Win It then came in, and they gave you a lot more things. But when you have a large group of people, these type of things where the group gets to watch the others do it, and you're moving a team up and through. So anything from being able to say all of the states or the alphabet backwards or things like that, this becomes a really good thing to do in a number of different settings.
This one's interesting. It's kind of like snake oil, but wait, there's more. The young people in your larger group, they enjoy the stage. You know what I mean? Like you're handing over the stage, you're letting them do something on the stage. So everybody else is enjoying watching, you know what's going on. But they enjoy that. Oh, what am I going to do on stage? And then they do it. So good.
My number 7 is 4 on a Couch. Classic. I don't know if I could say old game, but maybe you could call it an old game.
It is pretty
old.
And then
we might have called it a sofa.
Yeah.
Davenport.
Davenport. There you go.
I don't even know what they're talking about. But I enjoy when you get above that or right around that 30 to throw in 2 couches at opposite sides, and then to kind of twist up the rules a bit. So when you call somebody over, you actually switch names with them. So it provides a little bit more of a challenge. It's not a quick game. It is you have a lot of names to remember, and then the names are rotating through. So it becomes a thrill of skill, a frustration at people that aren't paying attention, but it becomes a thrill of skill to kind of put the puzzle together. So.
Yeah, that 4 on a Couch, if that one's so old that it's new to you, just a quick Google and you'll see a pile of explanations on what that one is. And that's what some of these games are so old, they're new in a sense that the kids haven't played them. So that's one of the fun things about youth. If they've not played the game, it's new to them. It's all good to go. So here we go. Number 6. Number 6. This one has to be played correctly. For me, this is Dodgebee. And this is my Dodgeball 1 that I have. So, King's Killer Court, Everyman's Color Court. There's a whole bunch of Dodgeball possibilities. But for me, Dodgebee is the one that you want to watch. Now, you need to go on Google and look for the Japanese rules or tournament. The cool part about Dodgebee, so it's something that you have to buy. It's a little disc like this. It's soft. You can get hit anywhere, and it's not going to hurt you. But it's played on a volleyball court. It's 6 people on a side. But then it is you are never out. So when you get tagged, you step out, but you're still playing. In fact, both sides of the volleyball court, they will pass it to their own team. So there's a little bit of strategy of when I want to get out, how I want to play. It's actually like a 3, like hockey. It's got 3 periods. You play it, you would be worn out at the end. And when you watch it played competitively, you're like, wow, that's a serious game. So when we play Dodgebee for real, it's more of I need 2 teams to rest and I need 2 teams to play. Like it's a serious game that you're watching, and you get better at it. A lot of strategy. My favorite part of the Dodgebee part is I don't have to worry about where I get hit. It's not going to hurt anybody. And then probably second is that you're never out. So there's a score at the end, but your whole team is still playing even if you get hit. And in fact, some people will put a guy hit early on so he can get to the outer ring and play that one. But we have Dodgebees. We use them all different ways, but played right, this is really fun.
My favorite thing about Dodgebee is it's not like, so a dodgeball can be thrown really hard. A Dodgebee, you actually have to have technique to throw it, and it be hard and still accurate. So you'll have a lot of the athletic guys that'll throw it as hard as they can. And just like you throw a Frisbee as hard as you can, if you throw it the wrong way, it's just going to fall 5 feet away. And so it actually takes skill, not just athleticism.
Yeah.
Wind is one of the things that you got to think about.
Yeah.
And you could play this inside, even in just a decently sized room.
Actually, most of the places I see it's played inside because of that simple court, no net. You just need the boundaries. The players have to be able to be on the outside, to be able to play this game, but a small footprint, overall. So it's definitely, but Wind would highly impact that game. So.
Number 6, what are you doing? What are you doing? Improv games for me, as a youth group grows closer together, they begin to know each other, and so improv becomes something that you can begin to teach them. And the dynamic of this particular improv game is really somebody starts doing something, maybe swinging a bat, and the other guy walks up and says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, I'm picking my teeth." And so he can't say what he's doing, and then the next guy's got to do what he says, and then they go back and forth. And once that guy starts, it's, "What are you doing?" And he's got to say again what he's not doing. And so that really is a lot of fun. And so you just rotate people through, and there's a number of improv for me. I like the way that Snake Oil structures it, but for me, this in front of everybody, thinking on your feet, a lot of fun.
Yeah, the what are you doing? They start to tell a story, and if they can get a story going of what's going on, it's a lot of fun. This one's hard because it's fun because the mess up is part of what makes this one work. Like you're out when you start doing what he said, or when you can't think about something else and do something else at the same time. So then that person gets out. So it's kind of the and everybody laughs at that part. You are correct though. The group has to. It's not for every group.
Not for every group.
Yeah. So.
Again, back on the stage, a lot of people watching.
Yep.
Classic again, capture the flag, and you can do capture the flag just like I think you can do steal the bacon a thousand different ways. Whether you're building something that you are capturing, there's lots of things to capture to build something. There are something specific that you need to capture. My favorite capture the flag thing is like a 50-pound weight. You can't really run that fast with a 50-pound weight, and then it just stays there, and so it kind of feels like more like a progressive thing. A guy takes it 10 feet, gets tagged, drops it where it is. It can't move, and so the flag kind of inches its way. And then a variety of capture the flags. Jailbreaks are for free to make them do some fun things to actually get out of jail. Push-ups, sit-ups, run over there. I want you to try and get me to laugh with a joke. You'll hear some really bad jokes, but it's just the fun thing of they have to do something in order to get out of jail. The harder they try, they will, yeah, that was funny, you're good to go, or great job, you're good to go. And so I capture the flag that has elements added to it. So it's what you play with, what you're trying to capture, how the teams are constructed, and then how jail kind of works are the three things that you can mess with.
Yeah, I think the capture the flag and steal the bacon would be the same way. Just as a general rule, you always want to favor the offense. Like there's nothing worse than just no score. We finished 0-0, nothing happened. Mm-hmm. So with whatever your rules are, just favor the offense so that you can score. You want to be able to score. It's a kind of a fun thing to be able to do. Okay, here we go. We're on number 6. We still only have one that has been a duplicate.
And it's kind of a half.
Yeah,
it's a cheater.
It's
cheater
his
one.
combination one. All of us have 5, and he's got 6 in a category. So
in a category.
Here we go.
It happens.
My number 5 is the fake artist goes to New York. So if you read the rules, this is a little game that you can buy that then you need to tweak and make it work. What I went out and bought the little variety pack of Sharpies and then a whole bunch of paper. So basically you've got about, 6 to 9 people at each table. So this can get as big as you really want it to be. I mean, you could have 120 people playing this game, but it's going to be everybody not all playing together. You're going to have these 6 to 9 groups. So in Fake Artist Goes to New York, what you have is one person who's kind of the MC of the table, and he is handing out to a group of people a topic or something that they're about to draw. But to one person, he just puts an X on their card, and they are the fake artist. They don't know what everybody is drawing. So what has to happen is that so you have 2 rounds. You go around the table 2 times. So Scott would start, say he's got the red pen, and he's going to write something something that is going to tell the rest of the table that he understands what we're drawing. But to the fake artist, doesn't make any sense. And then the next guy has to add on to the drawing so that one piece of paper is making its way around with all different color pins, and they're adding to this thing. So if it were Stagecoach, Scott might draw a circle and the next guy might draw a circle, which would tell everybody else, they know what they're drawing. Now, if the third person was the fake artist, they would be like, okay, if they drew a third wheel, everybody would be like, what is that? That doesn't make any sense. But if he's like, I'm just going to draw a line between the two, he doesn't know what they're drawing. He's just trying to fit in. He's trying to be the fake artist that gets away with it. So at the end of the game, they are trying to figure out the fake artist, and then the fake artist is trying to figure out what they drew. And so the reading the rules a little bit tough, but I like it because what we really enjoyed doing was we would say either the fake artist won or the table won. They found him out, and we had a gallery of all the pictures. I mean, from every table, when you finished one, you put it up on the gallery. It was just a really fun. And then afterwards, everybody's telling about the story of their picture, and so that's what brought the game together. And that's why, for me, this is a large group game, is because everybody tells what they were doing. Everybody's involved the entire time, and the gallery part is what makes it really fun. A picture of that going on your social media, that's great fun.
Go small though.
Yeah, it
go
will.
small.
Yeah, it can kind of fluctuate pretty nicely. It will take your group 5 or 10 minutes, like a practice round. They will definitely need that to figure out how it all works. But after they get it, it's good.
All right, number 5 for me is Baton Tag. And this is a game I like because it goes big really well, and you almost need 20 to 24 people to play it well, because you want enough. And you use chairs or buckets. We like to use buckets, but you really can use chairs. And you set up a court. And this is one of the things that we actually have in the youth leader's brain. So, but again, you have people sitting on buckets, and then you have a baton, which might be a noodle. We used a shirt. So I didn't really, when somebody told me about Baton Tag, I didn't know what to use as a baton. I happened to have a bunch of youth group shirts sitting in the room. I duct taped one end, made a handle, and what happened in our game is we began to throw it. It was one of the things you could do is throw the baton, and then later I found out they used a stick, and I was like, "Well, you can't throw a stick," and it was part of the rules. You couldn't throw the baton, but our group really liked it. And again, sometimes when you hear it, this one was just it began to grow a culture, and it's something we look forward to periodically. Baton Tag.
Ooh. And that's like completely in his Noodle Games category.
Should own a noodle.
Well, you would use a noodle, but it's less, a little more keep away than noodle.
They're going to make fun of me yet again as I say word guessing game.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I'm going to stick with catchphrase is probably what I would recommend you to get. It comes with like a little machine, and you can pass it around, and it's a ton of fun. But I don't know. I could pull any one of those out, and my group would, no matter the size, they would like it. They can say, no, I'm not in. Mad Gab's fun, but I probably would stick with catchphrase as the one that I like the most, because it has the pass, it's got the timer, it gets everybody's heart rate through the roof, as they don't want it to stop on them. And so I'm going to say catchphrase, but I gave them more things to look at. So word guessing games.
Okay. My what are we on? Number 4 here, and this one a pretty active game, and can be some huge collisions in this one. This is Flying Dutchman. Are you guys familiar with Flying Dutchman?
No, not at all.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull out my drawing here again. So in Flying Dutchman, you've got a pretty simple premise. It's kind of a duck, duck, goose kind of flavor to it, but everybody who's in a circle, in a big group is great. I mean, 30 is a wonderful wonderful thing. All these people would be holding hands in this giant circle. A pair that would be holding hands here would tag wherever there was a connection right there. So this group, as they're making their way around, they tag that group. That group has to go the other direction. Its first group back to the hole. So Flying Dutchman is a game of chicken on the far side. As one group is coming this way, the other group is coming this way, and whoever is on the inside track is usually the winner. I mean, so this one really is a craziness right over here, and that's where the collision can happen. But that's fun. They make their way back into the spot. The team that is tagging, they already have the head start of they were running along the way, so they have that kind of advantage to them. So they normally win getting back in, unless they were on the chicken side over here. They were pushed off, and so it really is a fun game.
Any cautions, any rules that help keep you out of the hospital?
I've never had anybody go to the hospital. It's usually a scream, yell, and I've not had that. I would say this is the sort of game, though, if your group was too competitive, it would be a
Now they have
bad-
to continue holding hands throughout the...
Yeah, the whole time around here. If they break, then they've automatically lost, which is because you're just tagging a thing. Even what the pairs are continues to change. Again, not a COVID-19 social distance game, but
6 foot cord.
yeah, this is again. This is an old game. A variation on Duck Duck Goose, but. It was fun. Probably one of the easy things here, no setup, no props, no big field, and out we go, and we're set to go. So I kind of liked it.
Number 4, for me, Foomball. This is a variation of kickball, but for me, I really like Foomball, and so the beauty of this, again, it's something I took on a missions trip. It's easy enough to learn. And there is no predictable bases. The other team are the bases, and so you really need a home base, and you need a ball, and then you need a field, and it goes really well. And we did actually play it in a gym, worked well in a gym, but on a field, a cricket field, and
So basically in Foomball, so the pitcher pitches it to you.
Pitcher pitches.
You kick it.
Yep.
And then.
Yeah, there is one of the things here. There is a kicking line, so you don't want your crowd to get so close.
Be closer.
Yeah, they can't stop the kick. So kicking line. What I like about it, plays really good with guys and girls together, and then
So
they're
when
going to
you
go
kick it, you now have to go run after and tag.
a base, which is a person on the other team.
Correct.
So the bases are the people. I tag them. Once I tag them, they have to stop. They become a base. And then there's some really beautiful strategy there. If you catch somebody quick and close to home, you may wait to the very end and then let the guy go, and the other guy might grab him. So some really good strategies with Foomball, but it feels like a back pocket big game to me. It's very easy to do, and it fits in a lot of different places.
When the second person kicks it, then they can either run to the base that's already been tagged, or they can run after another person. Is that right? Or
Yeah,
how do you play?
they can go to another person, but again, if you got a close base, you might hold, and now they can't touch a base that has somebody on it, so the other person has to leave before they get there.
Okay, it's okay. So, yeah, this is one of those games that it's a really weird look. You'll see the ball kicked, and then they don't want you to catch them, but they also are trying to throw the ball at you. So it's like this, you're scattering all the people, so they're going away, but there's somebody with the ball trying to hit you, so they're running after you. It's a weird...
All the fun of kickball, throwing the ball,
Yeah.
and the play at the ball sometimes is really good too,
Yeah.
because a guy can come at you and you may dive and tag him, and he becomes the base.
Right.
So lots of good things going on here.
It's a good one.
My number 4 is gestures. So kind of charades. I like the actual board game of gestures with the it's kind of have like the movie reel where it has a timer, and that if you don't get that card in time, it drops, and so then it's not, you only get the points for the cards that you're able to grab. So had a ton of fun with this when we were in Wisconsin as youth leaders, and so it was kind of a highlight game. People would do some of the most unique descriptions or acting of words, but it became always intense. Good competitive game because there's no physical ability whatsoever. It's based on acting and guessing, and gets everybody involved as well. So gestures.
Good. Number 3, here we go. Our second one, 2 Rooms and a Boom for me is my number 3, and this is pretty high on my list. And again, when I first tried 2 Rooms and a Boom, I wanted to go on and see somebody play through. I wanted to see somebody do it. I couldn't find a thing. I mean, nobody has like a video of this working, which really scares me because even in the rules, I don't see how it's gonna work. But when we played it, the first time we played it, we only had 12 kids, and that's as few as you'd want to do it with. But we just played living room, family room, and I was kind of standing in between. So like he was saying, you have the blue team and the red team, and the goal is for the blue team to protect the president. The red team is trying to blow up the president. So you're trying to get the bomber and the president in the same room. And over the course of 3, 4, or 5 rounds, they swap people. So both rooms swap people. So at the very end, you might know who the bomber is and you might know who the president is, but the question is that team sending the president here? And if that's the case, we want to keep the bomber, or is the president over there, we send the bomber over? Like it's one of these deduction games that even when you know everything, you don't know what to do. It's really fun. I like the way it ends. You know, with the whole where's the president? Where's the bomber? And then there's an obvious winner. Everybody's having a good time. The replayability on this is amazing with that gray team because there's so many different. I've not even played all the cards, and once you start to play it, you're like, oh, I want to play that one. I want to play that one. That sort of thing. So
what I like about 2 Rooms and a Boom is the interaction in the rooms. Because you pick a leader, and that leader's in charge, but you can vote the leader off. And so getting control of the room is pretty important for the teams.
Mutiny!
So all of that stuff's going on, and you only got a limited amount of time. And that's, I think, a good timer in there is a helpful upgrade.
Yeah, we used a little hourglass, like a 3-minute timer or something like that. But this right now it's out of print, and it's like, I don't know, $150, $200 a game. It's crazy.
For like a 6-inch box.
Yeah, it's a really little box just full of cards. But I'm guessing it's going to come back.
Not even full.
Yeah, it's going to come back because it's kind of it's a unique game. There's nothing else quite like it out there. Okay.
Number 3 for me is Ultimate. I love Frisbee games and stuff like that, but this one is nice for me because it's easy to teach, it's easy to play. You can go in different places, but then you can change what you throw. You can change. So the Frisbee makes it nice. Keeping it pure is great, but playing it on the beach for us was pulling seaweed up and making goal lines, and a number of those things just began to make a life of its own. So Ultimate, great game for me.
That's cool.
My number 3 is Picturica. It was on my small group. I just think you can pair people up. You can give a team more cards, and they're trying to work together. And as soon as you have 4 people looking at one card, you'd be surprised at how when someone says Picturica, everyone looks at them and says, "How? We don't have no!" And then they make a case for it, and they win, and now everybody's excited that they won. So Picturica, if you don't have it, it's a simple card game. But it can grow. I think it could grow all the way up to 35, 40, depending on what cards you have. So.
Man, this list is going to get expensive for me. You guys keep adding all these things. Oh, I got to get that. I got to get that. Okay, here we go. Top 2. We've had 2 of the same one. Circle dot line. This is my Pictionary one. Circle dot line is real simple, and it works. You need a pretty good sized group. You're dividing everybody into 2 teams, and then on that team they bring up 3 artists. Now those 3 artists, they have to swap the marker back and forth. So they're one, then the next one, then the next one. But when it's your turn to draw, you can only draw a circle, a dot, or a line. That's all you get to all you get to do. The rest of your team is trying to guess. They're trying to guess what you have. The other team, if they can't guess it, the other team has the chance to steal. And so I like it because unlike Pictionary, where you got to be a good drawer, circle dot line means 3 people have to be thinking at the same on the same way. So again, if it were Stagecoach, one person draws something and then the other person's totally in another. Those 3 people are just. The fun of it is they're trying to be on the same page, and they can only draw a circle dot line. You can do it at the same time, like a speed thing, both teams having 3 drawers on each side, being the first one to be able to do circle dot line. But I like the steal action, where they only have a short 30 seconds to do as many circle dot line, then they have to stop, and the other team has the steal option. Makes them push the speed and makes them a little bit more honest on the circle dot line.
Mm-hmm.
So.
We didn't play with the steal option. I will add that.
Yeah.
With my number 2, capture the flag. So I think we're at 3 now.
That is 3,
Yeah,
which we
we've
need
got
to
3.
stay right there.
So what I like about capture the flag is the things you can do with it, and the adventure that it can go really big adventure, and the creativity. So for us, we would do something like a Berlin Wall, and we actually built a Berlin Wall, and we had lights that came on and went off, and you were sneaking across and trying to do different things. So it had that side of it. I also liked, we used marshmallow shooters. We built our own marshmallow shooters and used marshmallow shooters to do capture the flag. So it was, it just really changed the game. So the variation and the scalability of capture the flag is wonderful.
With my number 2, I'm going to put us at number 4, and Fake Artist Goes to New York.
Ooh.
So
I
it's
didn't know you'd get that one.
it's just a
I
fun,
didn't think that would be on your list.
a fun, even the playing field of art, storytelling. I remember doing it, and again, like the gallery of once you draw something and then you write down what the word actually was, and you kind of squint and you're like, I don't see it at all. Well, everyone was trying not to give the picture away,
Yeah.
and so nobody really knew who was the fake artist.
You're actually rewarded for not drawing well.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't draw too well, or else you'll give it away.
Yep, but then nobody knows who the fake artist actually is. Like it's balanced just so well. So
Yep.
Fake Artist Goes to New York. My group is very much not active in the games. So to do drawing and to do things in a circle are things we do often.
Fake Artist Goes to New York is a really simple prop one too, because all you need is some paper and those markers. So it's a real fast to the table with a lot of people able to play it. So, okay, number 1.
Number 1.
My number 1 is Sculptionary. I play it a little bit different. You had it on the last video, but for me, Sculptionary is Play-Doh. Actually, we play it on a tile, somewhat like this. So this is your canvas. This is your base, that you're going to use. But we do jelly bean scoring. So every team has this little bowl. And so you score a jelly bean if you're the first one to get it. So I have so say I have teams of 5, and let's say there's 4 teams of 5 out there. So I need the artist, and that artist needs to keep on rotating. So all the artists come up to me. I have an old Pictionary card, and I show all the artists the Pictionary card, and among the group, they have to pick which one they're gonna draw. So they pick the one that they're gonna draw, and then they go back to their table. I say, on your mark, get set, go. I sit there in the middle of that group, and they're sculpting as quickly as they can. And when somebody says whatever it is, that's the stop. Now, the fun part is I give them a jelly bean for being the fastest, but then I have a couple of art critics that are around the room, and they're able to give jelly beans to whoever is the best art. So I love the speed, and some people are not even trying for the speed. They just want to be really good, because there's actually more jelly beans given out by more critics than there are the other. So they're just looking at their jelly beans, and of course somebody always eats one. So that's our score. What are you doing? So that's a fun ad. So it's a competitive, and it scales really nice. Yep. So I like Sculptionary.
I love the edible score, and I love the fact that sometimes we're like, you didn't get this? Like, this was the best one.
Right.
And everybody's like,
Yeah, because when they have this thing that they are, they're holding it like, and they're telling you all of the notice these
And
pieces.
as they are, it's like sliding and falling apart. Its head falls off.
Yeah, that's what they're like. No, this is really good. You're gonna like this. So there's a little bit of salesmanship going on at the gallery. So that's my number one.
Well, my number one comes back to it was just the favorite, and it scaled so well for us. So when we might play it at 15, we would play it at 60 at the winter retreat. It was, again, handball was such a great event for us, and we might add another ball in or something like that, but it was such a great event for us that we finally just said we do it once a year at winter retreat. And it just became the thing that, what are we doing at winter retreat besides handball?
So there are a few things that I've trained my son to tell my wife that there's no such thing as we have enough. One of them is Legos, and the other is Nerf guns. Nerf Wars is easily a number one. I bought a Nerf gun yesterday. It was on sale.
Just had to add to the collection.
Never enough.
I have to. So I'm to the point where I can arm my whole youth group twice, maybe 3 times. And so my youth group can continue to grow because I have Nerf guns for them.
Yeah.
But we do probably once or twice a year. A youth activity is tearing down the auditorium that we have.
You go dark.
We tried that once. It's just those glow in the dark darts. They really do come out. You can't really see them too well, and so we have goggles or eye protection. And we just go to town, and it's a ton of fun. People are like, I'm tired, but I'll play another 7 games. And so normally it has food involved, but even on like a youth group night, to bring I call it a bucket, and I have a couple of big buckets of just simple 1 or 3 shotguns to be able to have some fun with. They enjoy it. Most of the guys, if they ride in my car to where we do youth group, there's a Nerf gun already in there, and they are shooting each other as we wait for everybody to arrive. And we have a ton of fun with Nerf. So if you aren't into Nerf, I can guarantee you your kids would love you to get into Nerf.
Yeah. So there we go. We got our top 10 with only four duplicates. So this is a number I have found on some of this stuff. When you get a list like this big, I would start making your own like Christmas list for your youth group. Let some of the parents know that these are some things that we would like to have for our youth group, because some of these I'm seeing are things we brought out once a year or once every 6 months. It's not the every month kind of game, but those things sitting in the locker, sitting in the storage area that are ready to go, I think the youth really enjoy these type of. Some of these are bigger games, some of them are a little bit more active. So that's one of the ways you could get some of these props, is by having a youth group Christmas list. I'm interested from you guys. Did you like big games or small games better when you were running them? Was there one that was?
I probably liked the big games.
Did you?
Especially if I had it well designed. The big games, just the energy was so good for me.
I think I'm going to not answer your question by saying something different. I like simplistic games, so the faster I'm able to get in and the less confusion that is had in explaining, the more appreciative I am. So like Sculptionary, it's 5 minutes of communication, if that. Fake Art Artist Goes to New York, a little bit longer, but once you get in it.
Yeah, once they know it.
Like a 1 or 2 playthrough and everybody knows how to play, that's kind of what I'm looking for. When we play games, it's hard because, again, some of these games you only break out 1, 3 times, 4 times a year, and you don't want the 4th time you're playing it to be, we're still learning the rules. So
I've probably had more train wrecks in this large group game category, where I've been like, I'm going to try this, and it just did not work. And sometimes that's because you're trying to get the whole group together, or they've had a long day and they're not quite into doing something as active as I've planned. And so I do find that these are a little bit harder to get everybody involved in. It's harder to get the whole group going, but that's just been my experience. These ones scare me a little bit more than the small group game. Anything make your honorable mention, or anything you were like, oh, I didn't get it in there?
I think I added them in. But
Yeah,
You have them.
he had all of them. There's some good stuff here. I think sometimes we have a tendency to look at things like Steal the Bacon, Capture the Flag, Handball. Some of these things that we're like, oh man, that's been around forever. But again, that's the beauty of working with youth. If it's new to them, it's new. Like they've never played it before. So I'll bet there's something on this list that you will really enjoy. I hope that this has been a help to you. I hope that you will go away saying, we're going to give this a try. If it doesn't work for you, this was just our favorite. You've got a different group, and let us know if there's a favorite game that you've enjoyed playing.
You know what happens when you click the bell?
What?
An angel gets its wings. Is that I saw a movie that said that.
No. Angels don't get there.
That's not what happens. Oh, sorry.
When you click the bell, then you find out. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Just subscribe.
Subscribe, and if you want notifications,
it'll be sublime.
Yeah, sublime. I like limes. I do.
Oh boy.
They're little ones, sublimes.
I don't like those. What are those little
Kumquats?
No, not like kumquat. Olives. I don't like olives.